Good evening, fellow officers. Today is what? Tuesday, December the 7th, and we are having our executive board meeting. And we wish Linda Maniscalco all the best. She's having eye surgery. And Samantha already had it's something planned. She sent me a recording, and I was trying to hopefully be able to play that. So did everyone get Linda's email, her report?
Mhm.
So we'll just go down the list. I like to always let Andre go first so that he can give us his words of wisdom for our executive board meeting. Take it away, Andre.
Thank you so much, Madam President Extraordinaire. You know, one thing that I know that we all do during the course of a year is we kind of gauge ourselves. And so I want to ask the ones that are on the line tonight, what have you learned in the first 6 months that you feel like will have an impact on the second 6 months? And I'll start just to be the vulnerable one. Um, you know, I've learned that the smallest of opportunities can make the biggest of differences. And and this is what I'm saying. I remember speaking to one guy who didn't renew his fees. And I was asking, you know, was there something that maybe he would have liked to have seen different, or um, is there something that maybe we did that, you know, was off-putting? And he said that he had missed several meetings and no one bothered to even reach out to see if he was okay and what was going on. And so it's just those real small opportunities I think that we have that really are going to make a big difference. Sometimes we're looking for the huge things, but sometimes I think it's really just the real small things. And so, and I think the other thing that I heard recently that I know you've all probably heard before is, I think the one thing I learned as president is if I can just do my planning up front and get a plan in place. And, you know, I realized I couldn't conquer the world, but I could make a little bit of a dent, you know, in hopefully our world. And so let's make sure that we kind of have a vision and you know, that we're sharing it with the body so that we're all kind of going in the same direction, and that we have direction. That those would be my words as the immediate past president. And while I am speaking, I wanted to give my treasurer's report also. We had at October month end, we had a balance of $871.65 in the account in the month of November. And Linda, I'll have to get with you on this because this kind of shocked me, but the park refunded our deposit. So they credited our account for $65. Mary Nord, she renewed her dues. That was $51.46 after the PayPal fee was taken out. And then we paid $45 for 6 months for her. So the current balance is $943.11.
Very good.
So before I move on, I was just going to ask as a roundtable, what do you all feel like? And it doesn't have to be even in this role, Dan. It can be as a district director, but another club. But what do you feel like you've learned in those first 6 months that might impact you your second 6 months this Toastmaster year?
Less learned, more reinforced, that redundancy, backups, planning for, I don't know who might be our sergeant at arms next year, but I intend to look for somebody. But you know, at the district level, we're definitely looking at people that might want to be a division director or an area director, or club growth or whatever role might be open. And we definitely are looking at people that looking for people that want to step up, and just the value of having people. Backup Zoom masters, backup for individual club roles. I mean, we all know that that's important, but we definitely have had the opportunity to see the importance of it.
Okay.
What I've learned is communicating with people one-on-one is important, is effective, because I called every ATOS member. Some I was able to talk to right there and on the spot, and then some I had to leave a message. But my goal is to have one-on-one conversations with each member to find out what their goals are. But I did have a chance to talk to Steve Atkins, our invisible member. But because I made that phone call, he's coming to our meeting on the 17th. And he said that's all he was waiting for, was somebody to call him.
Mm.
So that is what I've learned, is called talking to people one-on-one. And that's what I plan to do, is to continue calling the members and finding out what their goals are and what they desire. Because that's impactful. That really touched my heart. That really encouraged me when he said that. I'm looking forward to meeting Steve on December the 17th.
Oh boy.
My turn.
No, I'm gonna mute you.
Yeah, no, well, there'd be a lot for me, because I never did this role before. Just going through, well, there's a couple things. So I stuck my neck out in November, early November, and every member that I hadn't seen in a long time or hadn't renewed, I went on the club roster and looked and saw who those people were, and grabbed their email, and I emailed them directly, and I had several conversations and got 3 or 4 people to actually show up to the meeting in November. And some of them actually participated in roles, which was good. And as I began to think about that, and as I began to prepare for the TLI training in November, one of the things that I came, at least to in conclusion, is education's role isn't so much education, it's retention of members. And if you can get members to actively show up and do their education awards, they're easy to retain. So if that's what it is, I mean, it's active members or retained members, then that's what I've learned. So it's not so much the scheduling and the toast host and all that other stuff. That's just busy work. But for me, it was really reaching out to those folks. And I can sit there and say things at meetings and ask people to do stuff, but they're not going to jump out and do it until I have to, beat the street like a cop on the walk, and I really have to, talk to them individually. So, and so people got stuff going on. I mean, that's just the end of the day, that's what's going on. And so, and I'm glad that a few of them emailed me back after that meeting and said that they were going to come back to the next meeting. So, but that's kind of where I'm at right now with it. I mean, there's a lot of things I took from TLI training. So, and I was teaching it. So I learned some things.
I'm gonna say that one of the things that I would say we want to always remember is we're not in it alone. Okay. You can learn so much from the different people in the club, at the training, all of those things, if we just are really seeking the answers. I had an experience Barb Grenade and I are in another club together. And the club at one point had like 8 members, Kirby, which is just barely hanging on.
That was my old club.
Well, you know what? This club now is like a 20-member club.
Yeah,
And
I did 2 roles and was area director that year.
I hated it. I hated it.
I was tired.
and so I found out that sometimes rather than me seeking the answer, I need to be the answer. And we have a couple of new guys that just joined our club. And I thought it's no way we can invite these people to join and then we don't embrace them and help them to get started. So I did an onboarding with them, and we did like pathways and, you know, free toast hosts and signing up for meetings. And if I could have taken a snapshot of what their face looked like before the training, when they were just totally confused and we couldn't put it all together, and after the training, and it really inspired me, Mr. District Director, that I will never allow myself to be in a club and people onboarded again, because that's critical.
Mhm.
And you can't ever make another first impression. And so that really hit me hard when I just looked at their faces and asked them, how are you? I mean, it was just like a sigh of relief. And I said, shame on us. We owe these people this. We
Mhm.
owe this to them. Because Kirby, the thing that hit me hardest last year as the president of two clubs was we oftentimes are trying to build speakers when our tagline is that we build leaders. And so it's a difference. It's a difference.
Okay. Andre, did you see my email that I sent with this topics for discussion?
I'm sure I did. Do I owe you? Do I need to?
My first question is, what do you think about January, February, and March, just changing it back to online only meeting? Samantha sent her response in. She said she wants to keep it hybrid. So what did you and Dan and Kirby think?
I mean, January, if we want to go with, the district, obviously we had that discussion at the last TLI, and you could do the club as a hybrid, but everything else is going to be online after that. I think that's what was said. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I'm trying to recall, and Dan can, holler at me if I was wrong. But I would say January, just keep the hybrid, since we just go in line with everybody else on that one. February, March, we can just we can discuss it then.
I'm going to say if people want to do hybrid, then I would say the only thing I'm thinking though is what will the weather be like in
Yeah.
January, February? Is that going to be kind of a hassle?
Yeah, that was my second thought, was February, bad weather.
Linda, my other thought is this though, is for those that want to have the hybrid meeting, I would say have it if people are willing to make a commitment to help get things set up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not I just want to have it and you do all the work, Linda.
Let me go back and rephrase. I was talking about the contest in January. I wasn't talking about just a regular meeting. So,
that's a good point, because Dan, is it going to be online?
everything.
The area, division, and district will be 100% online.
And I think if you're going to do it as a club and we get somebody that wants to do it, they should just practice online in that setting and give them that repetition.
Because, let's pretend we had it hybrid and I was a contestant and I was there in person. I'm not going to get the same area for a stage at the next level if I were to advance. I would have to then be in this box that we have on Zoom. So doing it virtual is good practice from a content standpoint. And as far as the February and March, selfishly, weather-wise, it would be nice to do virtual, but I'm not going to be here for the February. I'll be out of the country for the February meeting. But if March is going to be hybrid, I'll be there for it.
Yeah, well, I would like January, February, March to be virtual, and then we pick it back up April, May, and June, because April and May is going to be our membership campaign. So I would like that one to be hybrid. So we really push those meetings.
From a weather standpoint, that's a safe bet, because you never know. Maybe the forecast is great on Thursday for Friday, and by Friday it's you can't drive because it's icy or snowing. It's kind of hard to tell.
Linda, I like that idea. Plus, it gives us a little bit more time to get the hybrid team together and put some things in place. So it's not such a burden on just a few people, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, give me more time.
Well, we can probably create, so I mean, we already did create the Zoom master role on the agenda, I thought, but you know, we can work on that a little bit too and add those additional roles, right? Set up team and things like that. That might help out a little bit.
So I sent you the meetings, what we're planning to do for each meeting for the rest of the year. So I said, why not go ahead and put that on the agenda, what we're planning, and then go ahead and combine physical and message together.
Mhm.
Get those two straightened out on the agenda. And then because then everybody will know from now until the end of June, what's going to be happening for our meetings. And now we just focus on people signing up for roles and coming up with the themes. Because Samantha wants to wait till we have the theme and the speakers. And I'm thinking just create a generic image for advertising, put it out there. And then when we get all that information, change it, but she thinks that would be confusing. So that was her response to my request that we go ahead and get all the events set up from now until the end of June and get it and start advertising them. And it'll be out there so everybody can see what's coming up is my thinking.
Oh, so she's gonna force us to plan, huh? Shame on her.
So how do you feel about just having a generic image? We know when our meeting dates, the time, and what we're having basically for that month. Can we go ahead and create something like that? And then once we have our theme and the speakers, we can go in there and change it. What do you think? Can we do it that way, or do you also think that's confusing?
Well, if you had a generic image, you could add an additional image to go with a specific theme.
Yeah.
So not necessarily replace, but add on to.
Linda, I'm sorry, this is on what, Facebook? What is this on? What are you?
On all the social media, you can
Mhm.
post your events and put it out there ahead of schedule instead of waiting a week or 2 weeks before the event.
You know, and Linda, if I was to, honestly, I think if it was done within, the first few, maybe 3 to 5 days, maybe 7 after the last meeting, that should be 3 weeks, should be enough time. And that's when I really try to go after that next Toastmasters after the meeting is over, because that's when the meeting's fresh in people's minds. So if they enjoy themselves, then they may want to sign up. So that's when I kind of go after it. If that's a strategy or tactic. But I think, if you're going to create the themes, I mean, I think you could probably do that. I mean, obviously January is going to be the contest. February, I mean, if you want to create a generic theme, I see you have Talk Up Toastmasters there too. But maybe maybe create, Valentine's, it'll be a Valentine's Day theme or President's Day theme, or just choose, March could be something, April could be April Fool, I don't know, if you, and then let whoever that Toastmaster is probably bring that in a little bit more, if that's what you're asking or talking about.
Mhm. Yeah, because we already have our date, time. So, and we know we're having the contest in January, could come up with something for February and March. And then we know April, we're going to be hearing for membership campaign, and May membership campaign. And then July is going to be the new officer installation.
Mhm.
But
Linda, let me ask you something just to kind of understand the cycle. So when we have our meeting on that Friday, do we instantly go out and update the information with the next meeting date? That's kind of like a save the date kind of a message, or how does that work?
that's what's supposed to be happening.
Um.
You're talking about on our website, correct?
Yeah, well, the agendas are already out there. We're talking about social media, Andre, and creating the events on social media. And then like I think Linda's talking about Eventbrite as well, and that sort of thing.
Which is more of just a marketing
Yeah.
type of thing. So if you do something immediately after the meeting that says next meeting is this, save the date, more details to come, then I guess the big thing is getting them to save the date and then, you know, maybe put the details in. So having said that, would it be a good idea then for the officers, maybe each one of us to take a month as the Toastmaster, and that way we could come up with the theme or come up with the whatever, because if each one of us took a month, would that carry us through June?
6 months, 6 officers, 7.
7 officers, yeah, it would easily carry us through.
I know Linda has 2 officer roles, but
Yeah. Yep.
but yeah, because we only got what, 6 months left.
Right.
So would
Yeah.
would that be something we could do?
It's a hard one for me to bite because I wasn't trying to be a Toastmaster. Not that I don't want to, but I was working on the education awards. And so I'll be doing basically a speech and meeting from here on out, just to get the club where it needs to be at. So, I mean, it would be a lot to try to do all that.
Okay.
Do we
I
have
mean, just for me personally, I mean,
Kirby, do we have a feel? Because we should be able to pitch in and get these education awards for you. Have we gotten commitments from the people yet?
yeah, I mean, some. I mean, for the most part. I mean, when we get there, I can show that to you. But for right now, I mean, I have probably like 7 commitments out of however many it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll probably have. Yeah, I think I got 7 commitments at this point. So
Which levels are you needing?
just 1 and 2.
So you've got 3, 4, 5, and all of those covered.
And me and Dan were just talking, and he thinks he can get a level 1 in. So,
And
or
probably
maybe-
a level 2.
yeah.
Yep. You'll have my 3, 4, and 5.
So if he
After
does,
next week.
if he does a level 1 and 2, then we're only going to need 2 level 1s and a level 2, I think. So, and then we're done. So,
Oh yeah, and I can probably get you a level 1 or maybe a level 2, one of those two.
yeah. And I'm sure there's more. So I actually went back and looked at the data from the previous years, and it's everybody submits it all the way at the end. It's like March, April, May, everybody's submitting, and then we have more than enough.
Okay.
And very few people submit anything for the first 6 months.
So I'm about to finish a path and I'll be starting a new one. So
So yeah, Andre asked Kirby the question that I was going to talk about next topic is the DC
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah,
So-
let me show you what I got, Linda, real quick, and then you guys can see it based off of what Andre sent me. You can see what I did.
Okay.
If I can figure out how to do this. All right, let's see if I can do that. Oh, it says my session was expired. Hold on. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. I'll do it this way. There we go. All right, I'll just do it this way. All right, you see that?
Yes,
Okay, so basically, I've submitted my level 1, and we need 3 more. And Dan just came. I haven't updated this yet, but Dan just came on and said he could get another one. So that leaves 2 level 1s. That box will be checked. Samantha's already submitted hers for level 2. I will submit another one here pretty quickly in the next few months. And then I'll get another one in level 3. So as you can see, I've got people over committed. So I got Dan Jarman, Dan Arbuckle, and Andre all had level 4s and 5s they could submit, but we only need 2 out of those 5. So that's what I told Dan Jarman is like, hey, if your other clubs can use that, then you could probably give it to them, because it would just be extra for us, and we're not helping anybody out in the district that needs that level of award. So it's about the district at that point. We're submitting extra awards for us isn't going to get us any bonus points. Once we've checked that box, we've checked that box. Same thing with you, Andre. I mean, once it's just not going to benefit us any. So we just need those level 1s and 2s. And
When did Sam submit hers?
it was a while ago. It was right about, it was a day before I submitted mine. So that was about 2 months ago.
Because it's not showing up on you said she submitted a level.
2.
Okay, I do see.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay, so I see 1, 2, and 1, 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on KUC to submit Dan's, and then I'll submit his, and then we're rolling from there. And he's actually going to get the level 3 too. So there's 3 right there. I mean, we're good. I mean, we're going to be at 5 probably by the end of December. And right now, and that gets us up to select, because we've already submitted our officer list to train. There's another one, so there's 8. We just need a couple more awards, and we'll be president. I mean, at least that's what it looks like. So we got to get those members too. We got to get those members. So,
yes. And that's my next question is, how can we get the members? What do we need to be? What's our plan? What's our strategy?
So here's something I was thinking about doing. This is something I thought about as an area director, and I tried to do. I just couldn't get any interest. So, and we could probably do this, but I was wanting to do this thing called the traveling gavel, where clubs could compete, and you could go, if you took like 3 members to a club and visited, you could steal the gavel from that club and take it back, and they would have to send 3 more members to your meeting in order to get that gavel, right, to get other members to go to other clubs and participate. But that was me trying to promote in the area. But you could take that same idea, and we could go to other clubs and visit, like a couple of us, and they're all online. So we could go, just a couple of us show up, and we could maybe have a conversation about who we are. And that might spark interest in when our club is meeting, as kind of a, hey, show up, help out, participate in a couple roles, you go and help people out. They're willing. And that's what I've noticed about a lot of these nonprofit organizations like this, these clubs and stuff, is that you go help somebody else out, they're going to come and help you out. So.
I like that. Dan Arbuckle, let me ask you something. Do you think the way some of the clubs are struggling right now, would it be worth us maybe reaching out to some of those clubs and inviting maybe the president or VPE, and not you directly, but us as members? Do you think it would be a good idea for us to reach out to them and let them know that we feel like, coming to our meetings, it might help them pick up some ideas and connect them with some people?
You get the Marshall's report?
I do.
So all those clubs that could use a coach, those would be great clubs to reach out to. And there's a bunch. I mean, any club in general would be a great club to reach out to, and especially those. If you look at the Marshall's report, look at those clubs that could use it, that qualify for a coach, have low enough membership to qualify for a coach. Yeah. Every little bit helps. Every little bit of encouragement, seeing other people do things, maybe seeing that, if you have doubts about your club and you go visit another club and you go, well, we are doing pretty good. And maybe we can start doing this and we'll make it even better. So yeah, I think that'd be great.
I was hoping to January, February, and part of March. I'm taking about 66 days off of work, and I'm hoping I'm trying to burn up my leave and my time off before I leave the military, right? So I'm burning some days up. So I'm going to have some time during the day. I'm going to spend some time with the family first, but I'm going to try to get some of those morning and lunchtime clubs and stuff like that. So
Well, and another way to advertise, like Kirby, when you're going to the club officer training,
Mhm.
just mention a little bit about your club.
yeah,
And I would encourage everybody that, whether it's Andre doing president or whatever, anybody that's out there spending that hour to tell other people how to do that role, say a little bit. I mean, you're probably going to talk about your club anyway, so it's an opportunity to put that pitch out there.
so there's the last thing on this one before I stop sharing is the bottom half, and I can share this with you guys, is just how the club has performed as far as education awards as far as through the fiscal year. So, or the Toastmaster. I shouldn't say fiscal year, it's the Toastmaster year, but I'm going to turn this off so we can get back to what we're doing.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Linda, are we good on our officers being trained?
One more
I'm
One
going
more.
Saturday.
One more to check the box.
I'll be there Saturday. If we get all 7, there's an incentive for that.
Yeah, I'll be there December the 11th. So that's Saturday. Yeah, I'll be there.
I don't know if I get credit for training as training myself.
You're there. You're
I think
there.
you'll automatically
You do.
get it.
Shad will have you covered.
Okay.
I signed up for a Toastmaster for the May meeting. And I've signed up for June and March. And I'll go look at April and sign up for something.
Dan, is that the meeting is that the open house meeting at the picnic or something?
Wait, is May? I just grabbed May because
Is it, Linda?
Yes, May the 22nd is Antioch Park.
okay. I mean, do you want the Toastmaster for that one, Andre, or?
No, sir.
I just grabbed it because it was May. My gig as a district director will be winding down a little bit. It seemed like a way to go.
Okay. I'm thinking more the March, because I'm thinking March Madness would be probably the one I would go for, although the April one is going to be the one that preps people to attend the picnic. Because isn't April something too, Linda, open house or something? What is it?
Yeah, membership.
Membership. Okay. So that one is really preparing people to go to the May meeting. Is that kind of the thought?
Is that the one you're going to take? Yes, you can do that. Yeah.
I just signed up for timer on April. I realized the date that is. I might have a conflict.
Oh, well, if Dan's not going to be there, no, I'm not going to be.
It's my wife's birthday. That would be the conflict.
Oh, no, we can't do it. I put me down for the March meeting. I want to do something around March Madness.
I think you should do that. I mean, that could carry through, Andre. I mean, sounds like you really got a heart for that one. So,
Although I love membership. That's my favorite role as the VP of membership.
So what are your ideas and thoughts on helping us draw new members, Andre?
I think it's just a matter of inviting people, really, to be honest with you. We run into enough people. And I think some of it is understanding what value we'll bring to the people once they come. But You know, my thing is this. I'd like for us to get our stuff a little bit tighter from an onboarding standpoint in particular, so that when people come, you know, we're ready for them. And that, because last year I probably invited maybe 4, 5, 6 members to the club. But if we're not ready for them, then that can kind of work against us.
Couple of just some intelligence. A couple of members that I talked to last month that I got to come to this month did say that as soon as they joined, they hadn't been back to another meeting since, and so they just and they have different reasons why. And I'm not going to knock them for that. It's life happens to people, right? But you know, they were like, yeah, I just haven't been to another meeting, and so I think you're 100% right, Andre. That the onboarding piece has to, you know, how do we get them involved and engaged, right? You know, and it's not necessarily like, hey, you want to be an officer, but it's other things that could be easy at first and start to build that momentum.
And just making them feel valued,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, because really, I mean, and I want you guys' thoughts on this, but don't you all feel like we almost ought to have like an elevator speech or something? So that if two different members talk to the same person, we ought to be kind of telling them the same thing as to who we are and what distinguishes us. And
Yeah, I think there should be a 30-second pitch, right?
so Kirby, as one of the newer members, what would you say is a strength that we ought to do? We can do a better job at marketing at
How to do a
ATOS.
better job at marketing.
Or what are those 2 or 3 things that we do really, really well?
Well, I will tell you, there's 2 reasons why I joined this club. And I'm only a member of an advanced club. I'm not a member of any other club. So there's 2 reasons why. One, because I wanted the advanced feedback, right, from people who are better than I, right? Because I'm not going to get any better if I'm the best speaker in the club. Or the person doing all the roles and duties, because I can't see outside of my own skin. And number 2 was just the fun. So when I came to that first meeting in the Halloween, we had a blast. And the thing I remember is Amy Zint was toasted by the end of that meeting, and we were having a great time. I mean, we had a ton of fun. And it was one of the best meetings that I've probably ever had in Toastmasters.
That's it right there.
That's it. I mean, that's what I tell people. So, and that's what I've told people I've talked to. So,
Okay, so how?
and
would
I
you-
know we're recording this, so Amy, this is not.
So how would you wrap that up in 30 seconds so that we can duplicate that and we can also repeat that?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I did a 30-second pitch at for District 8 when I was down in St. Louis, and they recorded all of us doing a 30 to 60-second pitch on why we joined Toastmasters. And then they put it on their website, on their YouTube channel. So I have to go back and look and see what I said.
The my why.
Yeah.
Linda, when I've shared, I tell people, first of all, I don't have a lot of extra time, so I love the fact that they meet once a month. But there are some great best exchanges and best practice exchanges that go on because you have a lot of seasoned members, but you have so much fun. It's kind of like my B12 shot for the month in Toastmasters. And you know, once people come and they see how well run the meetings are, especially when we choose to really step up and do that, because I don't know. I mean, you've got certain people like Cheryl Reynolds and Amy Zantz. I mean, it's just certain people you get so excited about because you know they're going to bring something fresh and relevant and well planned. And, I mean, that just sets the tone for a great meeting.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people to learn from too. I mean, like Mary Nord, who's very crafty in her descriptions of her speeches and how she tells stories. So, I mean, I just like every time I watch her speak, I'm like, whoa, why can't I do that? It's just there's stuff to learn from everybody in this club.
Oh, but Kirby, I get a lot of, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I get a lot of feedback on how amazing your speeches are. I cannot believe I'm saying this. Somebody mute me. I get a lot of feedback though on your speeches, and people, I think people are very, very impressed with your speaking, Kirby.
I probably
Yeah,
don't have
definitely.
much self-compassion.
And your leadership. I hear a lot of good feedback on you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, and I mean, like all of you have touched on it, but this club is an opportunity when the world's normal, is an opportunity to go out to dinner with friends and have a fantastic Toastmasters meeting at the same time.
Mhm.
I mean, how do you beat that?
Yeah. But, and here's the other thing. I was looking at when I was looking at all that data today and I'm compiling it from how we did as far as education awards. Like the last 3 years, this club has been crushing. Like 16, 15, 19, I'm like, wow, and the years before that, it was like 12, 5, 4, 3, last few years, it's really, and so I don't think there's anything, we're just continuing to be successful. So
What are those numbers that you just said? The 16, the 15?
yeah, it was like 2 years ago, it was 17. Last year it was 15. This year's probably, I mean, we're probably going to be up there around 12, 13. The years before that, it was all in the single digits. And 1 year was only 3.
Now,
Back to 2012.
when you're saying these digits, what are we talking?
Oh,
What is
education awards. People actually participating, doing education awards, submitting education awards, doing speeches, stuff like that.
Mm.
So, I mean, I'm going to say when I looked at the trends over the last 3 years, people have been heavily participating and doing the work in order to get the club to that level of success. So
I think people will contribute if we ask them to. And, just like we're having this kind of a chat, kind of a fireside chat, where it's like, what have you learned in the first 6 months that's going to impact how you do things? I mean, because it's not Linda, Dan, Kirby, and Linda and Andre's show and Sam. Every member has to bring what they have in order for us to be all that we can be, And like I said, I love like the fresh ideas that Darren, some of our newer members bring, even Darren and Cheryl, and how do we encourage them to keep doing that?
So do you want to have this fireside chat on December the 17th, the networking social hour time? Or save it for the networking social hour time in January?
I like it, and it kicks us off. It gets us ready for the new year.
yeah,
And we can start it out with the music chestnuts roasting over an open fire as we. Okay, I'm tired, Kirby. I'm tired. Okay.
So who's going to head that up on?
We can make it fun. I'll head it up.
Because yeah, the ones that are in person, we're going to be eating.
We're going to do it in December as opposed to January.
Eating and dancing.
Yeah, that'll be like the
it
30-minute
matter.
networking piece of it, I guess. Yeah, or the round table. I'm sorry, round table.
Linda, it might be good though if the president some kind of way pushes it as a fireside chat as we end the year and prepare for the new year. and then I can help to facilitate it. But you
Okay.
know, really, we need to get commitments from people.
I think if I like where you're going with this and the ideas, and in my mind, if you do head that up, Linda, I might start out with just having a conversation about where we're at as far as the DCP goals are, and what other members think that we can do that might actually help with that. And we have people from all different clubs, so they're doing things in their clubs, and they may bring those ideas, and then if they bring an idea, well, I guess tag you're it. Ain't that how Andre does it?
Hey, I've learned from the best. Um,
But I mean, yeah, if you talk about what our goals are and what we're trying to achieve, and how do we get there, and just open up the question on what do we want, what can we do, and what are you doing in your clubs? I think people will bring their ideas.
and Kirby, even if we in our meeting, like I'll go for the March meeting, and even if you start announcing like your Toastmasters, you say, hey, we got our district director, he's gonna be Toastmaster for mine, so this one and this. I think it'll get people kind of excited because I'm gonna have mine hyped up. I'm gonna say, listen,
Yeah, and to go back to what you said, one of the things that I need to do a better job of, and this is me personally, and now that we're having this conversation again, but announcing who those education boards are, and once they've completed and hit the thing, because those people need that recognition.
oh yes.
And so, and I was thinking about that as we were coming into the speech contest. I was thinking certificates, and I'm like, why haven't we done that for the other things? So
That's one of those seemingly little things, Kirby,
yeah.
that makes a huge difference.
And it's the intelligence too. So anybody that's got their DTM or completed another level in another club, well, we need to know that so we can kind of call them out and say, hey, look, Cheryl got level 3 this month, or last month, let's give Cheryl a round of applause, because we are an advanced club, right? So recognizing their success in other clubs.
And we may not want to go to this level, but Dan and I were just in a meeting together. And Dan, I don't know if you had left the meeting or not, but the fairly new club and the VPE, which is a really, really great guy, he submitted level 1, and I submitted a level 4 to the club. And so in the chat, he was telling about it. He said, men 2, men 2, ladies 0. Oh boy, them women got fired up on that line.
Yeah. Yep.
And so just little fun stuff like that. I feel like it's not our place to try to impress people, but I want to leave an impression on the people. Because it's nothing like going to a Toastmaster meeting and you're exhausted from doing 2 and 3 roles. And it doesn't happen like that in this club.
Yeah. Well, hey, folks, I hate to break up the party, but I got to go. I got a client waiting on me right now. So
Such a party pooper, such a party pooper.
I'm sorry.
I need to run off on you too.
Good to see you, Kirby. Good to see you, Dan.
Yep. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. If not, well, probably on Saturday.
Okay. All righty. Linda, did you need anything else?
Just a response from the officers from the email that I sent. The comments that
Linda, you know what? I would say, based on the comments you've got and based on your thoughts, I would say let's go with what you're saying. We're going to do online meetings January, February, March, and then we'll pick the hybrid up in April, which will be interesting because that'll be our ones where we really start to focus more on the membership.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you, when I do my meeting in March, it's gonna be mad. It's gonna be madness because I ain't no telling what I might have y'all doing in that meeting. But we're gonna have fun, and that's gonna be the most important thing. And Linda, we don't want to get so caught up in anything that we're not having fun. And this is especially for you, Linda. Linda, let's stop the recording.
No.
Wherever you see recording, it should be a couple of bars beside it.